Good evening, and welcome to tonight's episode of Nox Vitalia. We last left everybody off just walking into a Myceloid tavern, but before we get into any of that, there are some announcements. First of all, my plan personally for my campaign is that I'm going to switch over this campaign to Pathfinder 2nd Edition for the intern of this campaign to give me time to work on my own system and work with everybody about making a system that we all can agree on, hopefully. That way we can actually move forward, because the OGL is a nightmare and I just don't trust them, personally. That being said, some characters will be retiring, dying, moving on with their lives, and going into the background for a while. Others will be coming to the forefront, and new characters will be joining our beloved group of intrepid adventurers, for lack of a better way to put it. Some will actually make it through. So there's that. It's been kind of hard to keep my focus, so please bear with us tonight. This is probably one of the least prepared games I've run in a hot minute. And other than that, we'll be bringing Jordan back to our table. She's been gone for a while, dealing with life, the universe, and everything. And we're just happy to have her back and with us again. And beyond that, we're looking forward to this adventure, and probably we'll be trying to figure out some kind of a fundraiser in the near future. I believe was tossed around as an idea and brought up during my last behind the screen. Like,
we'll be up later tonight.
got it.
All the work is done, I just need to log in and hit go.
Got it. Okay, so there's where the updates are on that, and does anybody else have any other announcements?
My games will be moving as well to Pathfinder.
And my game is going to remain basically in a D&D type setting while I wait to playtest and take a look at Project Black Flag to see if that is going to work better. So please bear with me, I have not decided which system. It'll probably be Pathfinder 2e or Project Black Flag, but I don't want to change the game a lot over and over again, and I'm also working on my own system, so we will just see where that goes, and I'm going to take my time.
Anybody else? Alright, so, oh wait, there is one other thing. I believe Jordan said you'd be in the chats at least tonight, if you have the battery power to do so.
I am only at 11%, so
Then-
I'm not going to survive the night.
No.
Do
So,
you want to moderate it from my account? I run the game while we're streaming.
Yeah, I can moderate it through your account then.
okay, so, Jordan will be there to at least have somebody to chat with while...
Say that it's me, but it's Jordan.
Okay.
So, with that being said, yes, everybody was Alabaster, Viridia, I'm still learning names, Wisp, Kalora,
Azura.
and Azura were all just stepping into a strange little tavern made of shelf mushrooms and stalks.
I trail behind the group a little bit as I'm like looking for cool stuff in people's pockets still.
Go ahead and roll perception.
Also,
Same. Okay, anybody who's going to like try and like pick pockets or do anything that would require.
Off
Go
the
ahead and roll
corpses.
off the corpses.
Yes.
Yeah.
They brought us the human corpses to have and in a pile, and so I'm just going through their stuff after I've cleaned myself off with the.
investigation.
Okay, go ahead and roll investigation. And anybody who wants to loot bodies, go ahead and roll investigation.
Going with my Jenny D dice. Be nice. Well, that wasn't terribly nice. That's an 8. Plus whatever my investigation is.
19.
5 plus 0 is 5.
4 plus 0 is 4.
5. Okay, so you find
Oh.
a couple of damage. Well,
I have a 10 total.
10 total. Okay, so we're going. Who had? Well, okay, 0 to 5. All right, you guys managed to find a couple of like pieces of like leather armor. One of the nobles had some relatively decent repaired scale mail on them. They were not in that greatest shape after Kalora was done with them. A couple of daggers, a little bit, just standard like weapons and things like that. So 5 to 10. You also managed to find about 7 or 8 copper and a couple silvers and a gold piece as you go through rifling, as well as a few daggers, swords.
I
And
got a 5.
you got a 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're on the same boat as Chris.
Okay.
You both have, with a 5,
Okay.
you find like a few daggers here and there, things of that nature. So
Couple of
anything you want to keep, you're welcome to keep. And probably between the two of you, you may have came up with like a silver or 5 coppers each.
So 8 copper.
10 to 15. 15 to 20.
Add a 19.
19. So on a 19, I can honestly say that in the process of looting the bodies, you find a signet ring.
Okay.
Yes. You find a signet ring on one of the nobles, a very nice looking pocket watch with very intricate workings to it. About 10 gold, and 3 days worth of rations.
Nice.
So the scale mail armor that I found, would it be better than what I have now?
It, aside from the huge sword mark across the middle of it, yes. So not really.
So no.
Like I said, it's pretty much good for parts. You can sell it for scrap.
Probably what I'll do.
That fighter did some really scary all over that thing. And anybody over 20?
Dirty 20.
You rolled a dirty 20, so you would have been in the 15 to 20 mark.
Oh, I heard 10 to 15.
No, 15 to 20, and they tried to poke you. So at yes, you would have found about 10 gold, a few days worth of rations, a serviceable set of leather armor.
Can we get an extra pencil?
One on the table.
I got it. I always kept reading next to
Well,
it
at
for
least
some
that's
reason.
not change. You actually, you find a really nice diamond inlay gold bracelet. With an intricate knot pattern for the braided part of the bracelet itself.
How much is the diamond in it worth?
You'd have to go to an appraiser.
Diamond values are important.
Only if you want to well, no, if that mechanic changes. It's still value, it still matters, but yes. So, I'll trade for anybody of these with dice in it. Okay, so stepping into this tavern, well, are you going to go down into the town? So you're going to go into where this little colony had set itself up?
Yes. I'm stepping carefully, and I'm in awe of this place. I think it's just the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Texture and shape.
I need everybody to go ahead and roll a perception check, because I want to see how much you notice. Because that's going to matter.
19.
Okay. It's a group skill check, so I'm going off of the base average.
Nat 1.
13.
Well,
Dirty 20.
the great news is that they negated everything that nat 1 could have caught. You're kind of like just sitting here going, what is going on? And completely oblivious. Like, you're not sure after all that carnage. You're pretty convinced that there should have been a lot more on those people than what you found. You just, no clue. If it continues doing that, there is a jail.
Yes, if it doesn't get above a 5 on the next roll, it's going to jail.
Aha! You hear that?
You're on probation.
Duly notified.
Yeah, so with the grander scheme of everybody's roles, you, coming into this, what looks like a tavern in every way, shape, and form, right? Almost like a saloon type deal. It does have a swinging front door. It's very warm and welcoming, if not a little bit damp. And the ground is just dirt. There seem to be some there are some gnomish individuals and a few elves with darker, what you would recognize to be dark elves. Underneath, denizens of the Underworld.
Mm-hmm.
Having drinks and things of that nature. There's actually a cat on the bar. It's a little strange though. Kind of looks moldy and greenish. It's the bar top being made almost carved out of the walls of the earth itself. It's just laying there at rest, completely happy. And it looks like there's a few little mushroom caps just sprouting off of where almost like collar around it.
Yes.
And a very beautiful woman with greenish skin standing behind the bar just smiles at you, looking at the group. She has, other than looking also about as moldy as the cat, but with no fruiting mushrooms coming from anywhere of her. She just kind of looks like she's hanging out. And waiting. There's people playing the piano. It looks like everybody that works here is covered in mold.
Hello there.
She looks up at you and you hear this very soft voice as she opens her mouth. You can see that there's an off almost foxfire mushroom glow. Like that really pale blue glow where in the back of her throat, where once it gets dark enough you'd be able to see. Oh, hello. What can I get you fine folks today?
You. Please.
She looks at you and I don't think you would appreciate that.
Well, then I'll have an ale.
Right then. And she kind of, you'd swear it's blushes, but it was weird because it was almost like a yellowish tint came to her cheeks, making the bluish thing look almost penicillin-y for a second. Though incredibly attractive all the same. And she walks back behind and you can see that she's wearing a very nice like gown and seems to have legs and all of those things, just covered and looks like she's molding. And comes back with a very clean mug, like immaculately clean, and it's made of glass. And she goes, "Here you go."
Thank you. How do I repay you if I break this mug? Because
Well, the mug will cost you 5 gold if you break it, so be careful, dear.
I very, like, two hands all the time.
For the record, it's basically a triple blown 3/4 inch thick glass that holds 12 pints. Or that holds, 12 fluid ounces. It's chilled actually to your touch.
3/4 of a pint.
Thank you.
What do you have on the menu?
Well, we have all kinds of things. I mean, some of them are a bit more morbid than others, but we can accommodate you. What kind of fare do you like?
What is your house specialties for today?
That's a good question. No, I'm a bread and cheese gal myself.
Well, we can definitely help you with the cheeses. We have a very fine brie.
Does that brie come with cranberries and molasses and sugar?
No, it comes with fresh baked bread and, it's, well, very fresh.
Claude pulls a small bag out of their little hip sack. It's got a little bit of standard sugar mixed with molasses, some cranberries, and some raspberries in it. Can I have a brie, but could you bake it with this?
Looks at you and goes, "Oh, I suppose." Takes it. You, sir?
Meat. Ale.
What kind of meat would you like?
All different kind.
Well, yes.
Variety is the spice of life.
Do you have any lamb?
I believe so. And you said?
I asked what the special was, but I never got it.
Oh,
yet.
I'm sorry. We've never had anybody ask if there was a special. We just normally serve what people don't eat much myself, honestly, so it's never a big issue.
What's the chef's best dish?
Well, as strange as it sounds, the cream of mushroom soup is absolutely delightful. We grow some of the finest portobellos here.
As to say, it's not made out of what we just stopped, is it?
No.
As they say, we didn't just stop all this for you guys to like serve me yourself.
No. We heard what you did to help the Myceloids, but
I'll add a cream of mushroom soup to my order also.
no
If there's
problem.
no meat in it, of course.
No, to be clear, no, there's no meat.
Thank
But to be clear, there used to be a trade type agreement, and I will honestly tell you that Myceloid is quite delicious. To be honest, they don't like eating their own, and and they don't decompose well, and they do breed some forms of bacteria that eat all of us. So, normally we were out trading.
Corpses?
Well, we are mushrooms, dear.
I suppose that's true. I apologize. I should have reserved my judgment. You have my sincere apologies, madam.
But we were also trading with outlying villages, both in the underworld and above ground, but
Got
those
out of hand.
humans just got so greedy.
Mm-hmm.
And we were planning to go help them, but they were just able to amass things too quickly, and we're quite glad that you were there. We'll just leave it at that.
Anyways, I will like some of the mushroom soup and some of your strongest grog.
Oh. Are you okay with a chance at there being side effects?
What kind?
I'll take that as a yes. And she hurries off and comes back with drinks for everyone.
No alcohol for me, please. I'll have
Just
water or tea.
The same question presides to tea, dear.
No, thank you.
All right. Not even anything to help with the aches and pains.
I mean, if it's purely medicinal, I suppose.
Right then. So she scutters off and goes into the back, and you can hear the footfalls, and they almost sound human,
Mm-hmm.
but they're a little bit softer than what any of you would have noticed in the past. It's like, but for all that you can tell, she pretty much looks like a young elfin girl that's molding.
I hope that's not catching. Really, I mean, this is a lovely place, but I don't want to become a part of it, really.
And about a few minutes later, she comes back with a very large. She comes back and she's right this way. I've got to put you at a table. That is far too much for the bar. And she ushers you all off to a table, or at least makes the effort to do so. And moving more towards something right next to a relatively warm fire. It seems to be drier than the rest of the room, and the air seems to look a little bit clearer.
Looks good to me.
And after you take your seats, she comes back about a half hour, or actually maybe about 15 to 20 minutes later. So does anybody have anything that they want to say to the others while you're sitting here? I'm just gonna go starting at my left. How about you, Alabaster?
Not really right now. Just want to enjoy the company and the food.
Well, I gotta say, this place is a wonder to behold. A bit damp for my taste. I know, that sounds weird. I literally come from a place called Evermist. I'm just saying, as pretty as this place is, I mean the bioluminescence is something else, but I don't know how long I can stay underground. It's just not me.
I would have to agree with that. I am a farmer. I like the sunshine.
See, you know, sooner or later we gotta get back on the trade route anyway.
Yeah.
In that case.
And we go to Kura.
food's good, but I like this guy. Not much room for flying in here.
That's a solid point.
And Azura.
I like caves.
This is what you hear at the table while you're all waiting on your food, by the way. I like caves.
That would make one of us.
I'm used to being in places like this, walking around on my travels.
Okay, that makes two of us.
I will say it's beautiful though.
It is beautiful. I do like caves. I just can't imagine living down here. It's not me at all.
You just got running water.
Say what?
I said at least it's got running water.
Oh, that's a good point. I'll bet it's quite cozy when you get used to it.
So about 5 to 10 minutes later, they come back with a very large bowl of. It's clear that when you order soup here, you're ordering your fill.
Mhm.
And they basically brought you what would be the equivalent to a very medium-sized cauldron that's wheeled out, and 2 relatively large-looking, also moldy orcs put it onto the table with a huge ladle, since 2 people ordered the soup,
Yep.
and set down bowls. 2 bowls. Say, your soup, and there's a basket, because of the number of people sitting at your table, with fresh baked loaves of hot bread.
Mm.
The brie, as she brings it out, she has a bowl of it that has had your berries and everything whipped into it. She goes, "Here you go, loves, fresh squeezed."
Oh.
Are these controlled bodies like the ones that like the pizza and shit?
Roll a perception check.
Meanwhile,
What do you?
Kalora is ripping a piece of bread and scooping some debris on
He
it.
asked if these looked like they were controlled bodies, like the ones that were being used by the Myceloids. I said roll a perception check because
17.
anybody else curious as to that?
No.
I've been curious as to that, but
Did you want to roll for it or no?
yeah.
Go to jail. I got a 4. I have not gotten above a 4 this whole game. It goes to jail.
You got a 5.
No, I've had a 4, a 4, and a 1.
Oh wow.
So that dice is in jail.
Yeah.
That dice is banished for the night.
There's 15.
15? Okay.
That would be 22.
Okay, you guys at least passed it as a group perception check, so I'll just give this one to you. It's... No. They seem to be completely independently sentient, each and every one of them.
Okay. That's what I kind of figured, but
It made me question. They were all covered in mold. Mold.
Yeah.
So it made me question.
it's a good question.
It was a very good question, and the question is whether, and the honest answer is, no, they're sentient. They're doing things on their own. They're not choppy. They're moving more smoothly and fluidly, like this is just their existence.
Wow. This is just where we live now.
I wonder how deep the culture and the civilization go, really. You know, Master of Spores back at home,
I was trying to pass it.
I
Sorry.
mean, he's got books about places like this, but he's never seen one that I know of. I'll bet he'd give just about anything to be down here with us right now.
Yeah.
Hulu?
The
Master of Spores and Evermist.
Oh yeah.
The mushroom specialist in the druidic grove there.
Maybe before we leave, we can send a letter to them and see if they can have a meeting together so we can learn from them a little bit.
I was thinking of reaching out to whoever might be the diplomat in this area and trying to establish relations between the two of them. I think it would do both Evermist and this colony a great deal of good.
Yeah, they can learn from each other, and if something like this happens again, they'll have more protection from Evermist, and I think that's a great idea.
Well, since we're talking about this, I'm kind of curious. How far away are we from the potties?
After you, they're actually about a quarter mile up the road from where this little settlement is.
Yeah, it's too far. I don't want to do it. I was thinking about going and chopping off a hand or some fingers, maybe some toes, and then that way I could wrap them up in cloth and get some to the mushroom sport people and let them check things out. But
So
it's too far away. I'm not doing it.
Also, that's not what I meant by diplomatic relations.
Yeah.
So, about 20 minutes after the soup and everything gets there, a very large platter with a whole roasted lamb on it comes out.
All of
It's-
Kalora's feathers. All of them.
I dip my bread in the mushroom soup and ignore the lamb.
It's actually trussed up and garnished quite nicely. There are roasted tomatoes around the outside of it and
Viridia's
pearl
a
onions.
lifelong vegetarian.
There are very. It smells delightful even to a lifelong vegetarian, to be honest. Because that smells good. But in the end of it, your meal comes and she looks at you all and says, now I'll be back with your drinks again in just a moment. She goes back and comes out with the remaining 4 mugs. How's your ale? And a pitcher. And looks at you. How's your ale, love?
I finished it.
No, you didn't. And she fills your glass up again.
You said something about side effects or other drinks?
We can arrange that, yes. Why do you ask?
I'm bored.
They want the side effects.
Oh, thank you. And, anyone else?
No, thank you.
Extra side effects for me? It's not like I
I
have
already
too
asked
many
for your
more.
strongest grog and you asked about side effects, so...
Okay. And you, sir?
I just have one thing. Exactly what kind of meat am I eating? Because it smells funny and it's kind of gritty.
It's lamb.
Okay, just double check it.
You might still have gore in your sinuses from the mess you all made.
Yeah, that's a possibility. But I didn't get close enough to get any mess.
My wounds may have healed quite a bit from the healing potions and the healing from Viridia, but I'm very, very achy.
Well, a few minutes later, she comes back and she's got a glass mug of ale for you, and a similar mug. Only this one has steam coming off of it, and you can see chamomile flowers and what you would recognize to be dark green tea leaves. In the bottom of the glass, and you can see them decocting and cycling somehow on their own. And 3 smaller glasses that are about this size, each half full with a cold stone in the middle of it. And they're a kind of pearlescent blue to purple to pink color. She smiles. And for the adventurous ones, and hands each of you this glass.
It's going right down the gullet.
All at once?
Mm-hmm.
Roll a constitution check with disadvantage. Straight constitution.
number one.
Okay, roll a dex check. Don't do it twice in a row. Disadvantage as well.
All right.
You're number 2.
I'm number one.
Yeah.
Did the same die do it to you?
No.
So you just double critted this. So you watch as Kalora slams this drink. Now, each of you is a seasoned drinker in their own right, at least at the festivals and
Oh,
everything
yeah.
you do drink.
Yeah, I do drink from time to time.
So all of you just watched slam it back, which makes perfect sense considering the PTSD episode that they are just rolling out of.
Right.
They're just trying to make it all go away, and they have succeeded.
Did they do it so fast the stone? They have to deal with the stone in their mouth now?
Well, for starters, I need you to roll 2d4.
All right.
This is for the stone. We're not done yet. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because you did
No
say there
problem.
was a cold spirit in the bottom.
Yeah, it's about the
Who
size of a
else
golf
is
course.
drinking this?
Did anybody else
Okay.
follow the same action?
I was gonna say, after watching all this and knowing my experience with probably some of these more exotic ingredients as a Feywild character, and
You would
being-
know. I need you to go ahead and make an insight check. Yeah, you do raise a good point. You can use insight or your knowledge of nature will work fine.
I very carefully set down my ale glass.
7. So I'm not great, but
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure you wouldn't fail. You're a farmer.
right.
So-
5.
5?
Yeah.
Okay. You chip your beak on the stone and take 5 damage. You slammed it back so hard. The tip of your beak is now flat.
Okay.
And,
I very carefully
Now-
set down my ale mug and pick up the color pretty and put my finger in it, lay with the stone, and lick my finger. Very
tastes kind of fruity. Oh, now, you also feel that you crit fail. It tastes kind of fruity, gives kind of a tingly sensation, makes your body feel warm and energized. Now, the other thing that happens to you, Kalora, is that in the process of knocking it back, it hits you like a freight train because of the Constitution check.
Yes.
You are suffering from full-on delusions. The entire world turns into a swirling mass of colors. Everything around you was low-grade glowing anyway because of the nature of this place. And now all of those glows seem to be to the nth, like, tenfold.
Are you sure I'm suffering?
That's a solid question.
You're not sure where your friends went. You're not really sure where you are.
You just see
You know that your
Kalora's
back
head, who was-
hurts though, and you're not sure how it happened because I need you to roll 1d6 plus your strength modifier.
Okay.
While that's happening, my insight check into what I would know about the drink.
Drink it slow.
I figured as much.
6.
6.
Yeah.
You also take 6 points of damage as you break the stool, falling over flat on your back on the ground, and are just kind of splayed in that condition.
As you can tell, I have a little bit of experience with these ingredients. Don't do what they did.
I already knew from my adventures from the taste, as I'm just sipping it.
Kalora was actively trying to get off the planet and succeeded.
Off the planet, you're in another dimension.
As you're speaking, my drink's half gone.
I've been sipping it slow.
Go ahead and make your Constitution check. You make one with advantage because you're actually taking it slow. You feel nice and relaxed, and all of the aches from the battle melt away from you, and you gain 3 hit points if you have them to gain.
I don't, but thank you.
So you say Constitution with advantage?
You also have a very nice set of calm, and you can go ahead and cast an extra level 1 spell for the next 12 hours.
Okay.
Because,
Constitution.
yep, advantage. So
Nat
with the high-
20.
Nat 20? Okay, so your colors are getting brighter. You are getting the glowy effect. The complete vertigo thing completely missed you.
I'm just feeling really good.
You're feeling really good, and you're just on a trip, but your mind is starting to focus more, and you can almost see that. You can see that light inside of things as a result.
Very nice.
Being a paladin, it kind of suits you.
Kalamar's not worried about anything.
Yeah, total of 13.
13? Out of 13, well, there's a little bit of vertigo, you're a little bit tipsy, you're thinking you might have gone a little fast.
I
But,
was bored.
well, you're not bored anymore. You could have a conversation with your mug, and your ale is telling you that it misses you.
I set down the pretty and pick up my ale mug while staring at the rock in
She
the
said,
pretty.
You know you want to drink me. I taste like butter.
Butter.
Oh my. I think our friends have gone on an adventure without us.
Correction.
Butter.
They went on an adventure without you. I'm just sitting here enjoying my moment.
I'm glad to see you're holding your stuff.
You're watching this.
I think I needed something a little harder than the ale that I'm drinking.
As they hear this, you hear out of the back, coming right up, and a similar glass comes to you.
Alright, I'm going to drink it slow.
And as she returns to the table, she goes, anybody else while I'm here? Looks over at the floor where Kalora is still kind of half swimming at this point.
Another
And
one of
kind of
those.
backstroking across the floor and actually making about 1/4 of a centimeter's movement every round. So eventually they will hit their head on the door or a table.
I'll drag her back to our table before that happens.
Would I have been able to recognize the waitress at all?
No.
Alright, cool.
All you saw was a glowing apparition that seemed to move differently from the rest of the room, which is also moving and breathing.
Some pretzels jumped out of my hand.
I'm in a much better mood now.
I'm not bored anymore. Butter.
At
This
some
is
point,
some
I am
lovely
going to try
soup,
to
by the way. My compliments to the chef. The bread, the brie, and the lovely mushroom soup are very tasty, as is the tea.
Well, I will let the cow know that you appreciate its work.
Oh yeah, soup. And I have a bowl.
Absolutely. Scuttles off, comes back again with the bowl. And for this fine feast tonight, I really hate to ask with everything, but who would be paying?
How much?
I'll pay.
Well, all things considered, just between us, we'll call it 5 gold for the lot.
I'm gonna toss 10.
I have 4 gold.
Oh, I got this. I got like 52 gold.
I'm gonna throw in 10.
You want to throw down 10?
I'll throw in 10 gold piece.
Call it a tip.
And then I give the 5 for the meal, and then if he wants to add any extra, that's his
I'll
prerogative.
throw in 10.
After your meal is done, I mean, I wouldn't want to charge you, but I wasn't joking about the glasses and the mugs being 5 gold apiece. Do you know how hard it is to find a glass blower that'll deliver to people like us?
That's why I was gonna. If the mug breaks, I will give you another 5.
Also, we do promise to not deliberately break your stuff.
Yeah.
And at this point, I hop out of my chair, I reach over, I grab Laura by the foot, and I just very gently drag her back to the table.
Are you going willingly or are you resisting? Because, okay, in your mind, out
I'm
of
very
the
soft
ocean
and
that is
gentle.
the floor, a tentacle comes up and starts dragging you in the opposite direction.
No, I am not going willingly. I am terrified of you.
It is a very
let
pretty
go.
rainbow tentacle, by the way.
I let go.
And Gloria's in full, like, nope, nope, nope mode.
You're gonna hit your head.
Oh no,
You
this
hear
is
this,
this is wings and arms and talons noping.
and
Yeah.
you hear you're going to hit your head.
Nope. I'm getting as far away from whatever just touched me as humanly possible.
Never
your
mind.
head.
I jump back into my chair. I'm like, all right, whatever.
And I look over and I just say, if they hit their head, we will take care of it then.
No. If she
Did I
hits
need
her
a
head, we're
dexterity
gonna
check
leave her
'cause my
right
wings
there,
are moving?
wondering why she hit her head.
Unless she bleeds.
Do I need a dexterity save because my wings are
she
moving
bleeds.
at quite a pace right
If she
now?
bleeds, we will fix her.
Yeah.
But until she hurts herself, I think she's okay.
So,
Still leave
Or
her
they,
there.
until they hit the
Because I
I'm still leaving her there
specified that my
afterwards,
wings
yeah.
are actually flapping quite voraciously, do I need a dexterity save?
yeah, if you want to bring it up, I was going to be nice, but go for it.
I love making the dice, so I didn't know. That was a solid 10.
10. Good news is you didn't injure yourself. Bad news is you've managed to have a table pin you down.
Look, guys, she was flapping like a hummingbird.
I'm,
And then she stopped.
I'm stuck under the table next to us, aren't I?
Yes, like, you know how there's those tables that have the thing that goes down like this and out like that?
Yeah.
You have managed to get your head wedged under that arch. And half of your torso somehow.
Is there anybody sitting at that table?
No. They moved when they saw the bird swimming towards them.
I told you she wouldn't go anywhere. I told you they weren't going anywhere.
I pick up my drink, my bowl, grab some cheese and another thing of bread, just kind of stack them, and I go and I sit at the table that she's stuck under. Motion everybody else just to move.
Gonna hold the table down for me, huh?
That's what it keeps an eye on you.
We're not gonna
The
help, but we're not
staff
gonna
actually
hurt
helps
either.
you move the baskets and all the weighted pots and everything onto the table.
We're not gonna help, but we're not gonna hurt.
I make 2 trips, taking my pretty to the table. Actually, no, I finished my pretty drink. So,
Calora is still freaking out.
and then I
How
very
do you finish it?
I've just it's been like every 4th sip of butter, I've had a sip of pretty.
Okay, one more Constitution save, see how much you amplified this.
That one,
Now
that's a 7.
plus-
7 plus 4 is 11.
You're just gonna be in this condition for longer, you're good.
Calora's, I am still very much freaking out. I'm pinned now and can feel it. I should not be pinned in space.
I assume squawking atrociously.
For all of about 3 minutes.
Yeah.
This goes on for about 1.5 minutes before the woman behind the bar comes out. And you all aren't sure what she does, but all of a sudden you just feel this warm sensation of calm wash over you. It's
Okay.
like you're being hugged by a cloud, and those hard table legs suddenly feel like marshmallows.
I'm better. I'm better.
Sorry about our friend there, miss.
Don't worry, it happens to the amateurs all the time.
I just raise my glass and dip my bread into the soup.
Right then. And, so, if that'll be all, did you all need anything else this evening?
Ooh, sleeping.
Yeah, if you could direct us 2 places, sleeping quarters for the evening, and also Whoever is a leader or an ambassador for your people that I might speak with in the morning?
Technically, there's the Queen and her council. She does tend to see visitors from time to time. Other than that, it's in many ways just a normal town.
A normal town with a queen?
Well, yes.
Okay. And is there somebody I need to speak to in order to have an audience with the queen?
Well, you're new faces, so it shouldn't be too hard to get her attention. She just loves new people.
All right.
Just be careful.
This place has certain charm. Be careful.
Yes, her counselors can be quite petty.
Ah. Well,
I guess one could more call them minions. Yes, minions.
I suppose.
Petty
some-
doesn't mean I can pet them.
I suppose some things are almost universal.
She looks over with a wry smile at your poor addled face when you say, petty, does that mean I can pet them? And she goes, yes, as hard as you like for as long as you want, dear. And wanders off.
Azura, I would highly suggest that you don't take her literally.
I'm not listening at all and just sitting there biting my tongue thinking about dirty things and petting.
Okay.
And this is how you end up like that.
Being in love with sobriety.
I'm sleeping. I got hunted by a cloud. I'm sleeping.
Wait, what about the rooms? Oh, damn, she never answered my question.
Your entire reality is you guess you went to sleep. Oh, you hear snoring under the table and weird murmuring sounds that would mimic a child in sheer bliss.
Do we leave her here?
Your dreams all basically look like 1920s cartoons in full color
I love it.
that shifts at random. Sometimes it's monotone, sometimes it's full Technicolor, sometimes it shifts from correct Technicolor to somebody hit that weird tint button on the bottom of the screen. And it just kind of cycles through it, dependent.
I love it. I love it.
So I walk up to the bar and I ask again about rooms or a place to stay. If there's anything close by that we could find something.
Well, we've got a couple of rooms for rent upstairs if you don't mind bunking together, or... Well, there's a couple other places here in town that you could definitely find lodging for the evening. How many days would you be wanting to stay?
Just the night.
But you lease the two rooms upstairs for about $3 They're not the greatest, but they're dry.
Does anybody want to try to sleep with Kalora in the room?
I don't mind.
He looks at you
She's
and goes,
pretty.
Kalora can stay right where they are, and consent is a thing, dear.
That's what I was gonna ask. I hand you the 3 silver, and then I also hand you a gold and say, can you take care of my friend and make sure she gets to her room once she becomes a little more coherent?
She won't be coherent until morning, but we'll watch after her anyway.
And I hand the 3 silver and the gold, and then I go back to the table and tell everybody we got rooms upstairs.
Okay. So I suppose girls with the girls and boys with boys.
What's that?
Just an old custom, love. No worries. I grab one of the 2 keys and I walk upstairs.
And I grab the other key.
Okay.
How far are we from the entrance of the cave?
About a quarter mile. The bodies were outside the cave.
Like, outside.
You're in the caverns. It's actually got about a 50-foot ceiling on it. Everything's glowing, and it's kind of like in a permanent twilight.
Right.
Outside shiny. I follow because it's shiny. But like I stop after like 4 paces and just stare up for about like 10 minutes. and
Do I
then
open the
go-
door on the left or the right?
I don't know. Which one do you want to open?
I don't know. I grabbed a key. I was gonna try them both.
Oh, yours works for the one on the left.
Okay. I open the door. I leave the key in the lock, and I don't lock it. I walk over to the bed. I strip off my armor, my sword, drop my pack, fall over.
And in no time are drifted off to absolute your version of a long rest. That 4 hours of bliss that you need every.
Yep.
I spend about 7 minutes outside and then I go, oh, soup! And go have another bowl of soup.
Kalora is still passed out under the table, marking where your soup is.
Pretty bird has my soup.
And my tail feathers are absolutely fanned in my sleep.
Making its noise.
This eagle is doing their
Red eagle.
damnedest to look like a peacock.
You're out cold, and where are you headed, Alabaster?
Alabaster went to the door on the right.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say I grabbed the other
Oh.
key and was headed up.
Going into the rooms, those of you who are conscious, not tripping hippies out in the middle of a street staring up at the pretty lights everywhere, they did bring you that drink. Go ahead and make your constitution checks. How fast did you drink it?
Yeah, do you want me to make one to see how
I
much it
was-
affected me, even though I drink it slower?
No, you are getting that nice light, everything's just treating you right. Like, this is a roju now.
I was lapping it slowly into like with my tongue.
Okay, so just go ahead and roll standard constitution check.
I didn't drink the whole thing. I probably drank like a quarter of it.
That'd be enough.
I got a 17.
What'd you do?
At 17, everything's definitely brighter and the colors are shifting on you versus just being an ambient brighter glow and heightened senses and things like that. So you're having a very nice colorful trip, but you're not, the universe isn't talking to you. Like, your glass is not telling you that it tastes good.
Alright, so have I made it outside yet? Or
Yes, and you can taste the glow.
can I climb a tree?
There aren't any.
Wait, yeah, there were trees.
There
in
aren't
front of
any
the-
trees right outside
there
the
were.
About a quarter mile up the road.
Oh, I thought there was some right outside the cave. Anyway.
Yeah, I did too.
Well, if you're all the way outside the cave, that means that you're up out of the cave and a quarter mile up the road from where the tavern is.
Alright, so trees, no trees.
If you're going all the way up there,
Sure.
then yeah, you can find a tree with no problem whatsoever.
Alright, then I'll scale a tree.
So in the middle of the night, Wisp has left town. Side effect of your trip.
Right?
You took a trip.
And
Wandering through
And as I'm entering the room, I get my armor and everything taken off. I get into a nice sleeping robe or something comfortable, and I just relax and kind of read some scrolls and stuff for a little bit.
okay, go ahead and what's your passive perception?
I don't know if I figured out.
Actually, it's 10 plus your wisdom.
So 13.
13? Cool. Yeah. You would notice that there's actually a deep basin, small hot spring set off into a corner with a vent shaft above it so that it's not dampening the rest of the room. And there's like a towel hitting next to it. You walked in the room and just, you'll notice in the morning.
So, since I've noticed that I go and get into the hot spring to relax, kind of
It's
ease my achy
lovely.
muscles from the day.
It's lovely. It seems like it was carved so that there's enough space in there for there to be a seat for you that you won't slide out of. And it's about 80-degree water, so just that perfect, not too hot, not too cold, not going to make you sweat it. Just a nice, warm bath. Towels are hanging on the wall, and you're pretty sure you could drift off to sleep there.
I
be
probably
safe.
do.
Okay, so you pass out in the bath. And you are where?
I'm at the table because Bird had my soup above him.
Right, well, you are sitting at the table, Bird is snoring and looking like a peacock, and every now and then you see it kicking.
Yes. And I USB. ADHD stutter, hello. I have poured the last of the pitcher she brought into my pretty mug, into the ale mug, and I finish that off. I grab a loaf of bread, put 3 silver on the table, and proceed to make bread pillow.
Red pillow.
Bread pillow.
So you're not gonna go up to the room. You're just
No,
gonna sleep.
So
away
you
there.
get the room
I've
to,
literally
you
just
each
met
get the
y'all,
room to
and
yourself.
I'm comfy.
Okay.
Bread pillow.
So one's on a bread pillow, one's passed out underneath the table, and the other one just left town.
Yep.
Drag myself under the table.
You and I had the common sense to go up to actual rooms and
Yeah.
Wisp went and found a tree to sleep up.
Oh yeah.
So,
Well, I guess I am gonna get 8 hours of doing nothing.
oh, yeah, you absolutely did. You all would consider yourselves to have a full long rest after this. Yes, you do still get that bonus spell.
but at least 4 hours has passed. Oh no, I guess 8 before everybody else gets up, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
You would
So
wake
I've
up
got-
about 4 hours before everybody else to the smell of sausage, bacon, eggs, pancakes, and sauteed mushrooms, onions,
So
bell
I got
peppers.
4 hours left on that. Roughly.
Well,
Wait, is it? Okay.
No, it'll still carry over for the rest of the day, basically.
and would I be a full 8 hours, or would it not? Would I not have slept as much since it didn't affect me as much, since it was something I was more used to?
You would have gotten your full sleep as well, yes.
Okay.
And you actually wake up feeling even more rested and a little bit rejuvenated.
When I wake up in the morning, I do notice the bath, and I take some time to get into it and have a nice, long, lovely soak.
If there's any oils or soaps there or anything nice, I use those, and
Then I get dressed and head downstairs.
All of your aches melt away in this. It's definitely a mineral hot spring, you know that much. You would have to spend some time in order to figure out what the composition is, but you're feeling quite better, and even the aches of the days fighting prior are gone.
none.
So my question for you is, how long do you soak? Do you soak for the full extra 4 hours? I mean, I fell asleep, so I've been in there for 8 hours.
No, it's my habit to wake up first thing in the morning and draw for a couple of hours, so I probably did that before I even jumped in the bath.
So, as you get downstairs, the two of you, you see, well, as soon as Azura gets back,
So, question.
yes,
Am I wedged in there to the point of being before or after the joint where my wings meet my shoulders?
one side yes, one side no.
I'm about to be coherent and aware of this.
Bread pillow.
What would
Yes.
you call that to dislodge myself?
And while that bread pillow is going on, since you've been asleep, I need you to go and make a Constitution save, please.
Me?
Yep. Reroll that. I couldn't read it and it hit the ground.
Well, we liked the other roll better, but that would be a 3 plus 4 is 7.
3 plus 4 is 7.
Mhm.
You wake up in the middle of sleep eating as you choke on a piece of bread.
Oh, some damn good bread.
As you two come downstairs at relatively about the same time, up to you which one of you would have got out the door a little bit earlier this morning.
Rolling for it?
Yeah.
Darker.
I got a 3.
That one.
Oh!
Nah.
Thank you.
We both groggily go down the stairs. Well, I guess I'm not so groggy. I'm not groggy. I am.
The good news is it's just for how fast you got out, so if you were going to kill a 1 anywhere, that was the spot.
Right? Like, I'm awake, I'm just barely coherent.
You get downstairs just in time to see Azura going like this on a half of a stale baguette, using the rest of the bread bag for a pillow. Kalora pinned underneath the table that Azura is laying on. Sound asleep still. That was one hell of a vacation.
When I come to, what kind of save is it to get unpinned?
That's going to be entertaining. And the scene before you is that it looks like the staff have just been sweeping around them. And these tiny little mushrooms are growing in a ring around Kalora.
I look up the stairs. Alabaster,
I'm here.
you gotta come see this shit.
And I look over groggily and I just look down and I'm just like, it
Right.
is too damn early for this.
Right about the time you see that,
Right there with
you
you.
hear Azura start to choke on the piece of bread and wake up.
Bread.
The jolting of the table.
I have to roll to avoid panicking about it, don't I?
No. The jolting of the table wakes you up, and you vaguely remember something about swimming after a strange-looking drink, and the first thing you notice is that the tip of your beak is broken off. But you're actually strangely okay and calm.
I need to buff that.
The effects of the other thing haven't worn off yet. So from under the table you hear, I'm going to need to buff that.
Well, Kalora's
As you
awake.
make it into the main lobby, or onto the main floor.
I am going to, with
And
some.
as you wake up choking, you're not going to need to buff that.
I'm going to very gingerly try to dislodge myself. And being careful.
And while this will take some time, but you'll be okay, and it won't be that hard on you. And with that being said, Wisp, As the first rays of sun hit the sky and this is going on at that tavern, you find yourself at the very top of an old oak tree, in the Y to a set of branches that are no bigger around than this, trying to figure out how the hell it is that you slept up there without breaking your neck.
So, would I have noticed that he's not there yet? Because
You all would notice that Wisp is nowhere to be found.
and I would have noticed that he wasn't in the room.
Correct.
Where'd Wisp go? He was not in the room when I woke up.
Is the
Well, he
priest
wasn't
still
in
on the
my
table?
room either. Oh man.
Yes.
I
The
hope he
one
didn't
that
drink
went
that
for a
super
walk
fast.
with the shinies? Pretty color walk.
Pretty color walk.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm gonna
no.
need to buff that.
I
Ow.
wonder how far he got with that color walk.
Beaks are not a
Yeah,
Seems like a damn fine
On
question.
record, whatever you
I suppose
saw.
we should
can
forego
make up
breakfast
and
and go
good
find
with
our
that.
wayward
Okay.
friend.
well, I was gonna talk to the barkeep and see if they had heard word from anybody else where
Is
he
there
might
still
have
soup
gone.
in the cauldron?
All right.
That way we can see
No.
if anybody's seen.
Oh.
That way we can kind of get an idea, and if he comes back.
Your belly is also quite full
I'll
and you're
go
not
gather
sure why.
our wayward companions.
You woke up not
Okay,
hungry.
and I'll go talk
Looking for
to.
liquids. Soup is yummy
the-
liquid.
The barkeep.
You still have half a mug of ale.
Butter.
Okay.
Take
So,
a sip. Oh yeah, butter.
so I walk up to the barkeep and ask, the other gentleman that was here last night that got the drink last, have you heard where he might have gone?
Well, he left with your friend that was sleeping on the bread over there.
He didn't come back with
Did you
them?
know that they eat in their sleep?
I
But,
overhear her
no,
and be
he
like,
didn't come back
oh,
in."
that's why I'm not hungry. Yep, yeah, I do that.
So,
It's the beast in me.
do you remember where you guys went last night?
I went outside and looked up and then wanted more soup and came back in.
Outside, like, how far outside? Like, outside the cave completely?
No, outside the cave wouldn't be pretty. I walked like 4 paces outside the tavern, looked up, and then came back in for soup.
So, he could have kept going.
Soup.
I think we are going to need to take our leave of this place.
I
Go on ahead and see if you can find him. I must seek audience with the queen.
Yeah, you guys do what you need to do. I'm gonna go look for Wisp. And I head out and I start asking around if anybody has seen where
Well,
my.
that all went down at roughly about 3 o'clock in the morning, so
There wasn't a lot of people awake.
no. But go ahead and roll a perception check because you are actively looking for any sign of where he would have went.
Okay, so perception.
I'm gonna be asking around for somebody who would
No.
have metal or woodworker's tools
Ah,
to get something
9.
to buff
9?
the beak.
Looks like he headed back towards the entrance of the cavern system.
So I start heading that way.
What are you doing up your tree?
Trying to figure out if it's okay to move and how I'm gonna get down.
It's one of them Tigger moments.
So basically, my only option is to drop and hope I land on my feet.
Oh, no, you can try and climb down. You're welcome to.
Yeah, these things are kind of, really thin from the way you describe. So,
About 3 inches around. How much do you weigh?
200 or something.
You'd have to be careful, but it'll hold you.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and try to climb back down.
It is teetering.
All right, so on that note, I'm just gonna go ahead and drop and pray that I land without getting too fucked up.
So you're gonna try and tuck and roll this?
Yeah. I'm gonna try.
Roll acrobatics.
Okay.
Okay, how close would I be to the entrance where he would be doing this?
You come. That tree is about 100 yards from the entrance. This would be happening right about the time that you would get to the opening of the cave.
So
Because
I'd
time
be-
is fast forwarding for the reasons.
So I would be seeing all this.
You would be seeing him. As you're looking around, you see Alabaster teetering on Wisp teetering back and forth on about a 100-foot tall oak tree on a branch that his weight can definitely affect how much the bough of that tree bends. Probably won't snap it, but
Gotcha.
See, I'm gonna go for like gracefully sliding down the side of the tree to try and reach the bottom where I can do a tuck and roll move and just kind of like roll away from the tree.
roll
I don't see that
acrobatics.
happening.
While all that's supposedly happening, I pull my horn polishy shavy tool out of my bag and be like, will this work for your beak? And then a rough cloth and a smooth cloth.
This is a thing that I have done before, and it legitimately collecting the shavings, and I'm going to heat them and get them to sticky, and then just kind of fix the very end so that the sensitive bit on the inside isn't quite as exposed. This is a thing I've done before.
Roll medicine.
I got an 18.
Got it.
You got an 18? Okay. So, you see one of the most interesting acrobatic feats of your life on the way as Wisp gets down out of this tree. You almost get hit by about 4 or 5 branches, end up having to do something akin to a gymnastics loop off of one to keep close to the trunk like you were saying. Swing yourself around twice, and do manage your tuck and roll. Look up at the tree afterwards, and don't take any damage.
Alright.
Natural 20.
For the medicine.
It looks better than when it started. You just gave yourself a beak job.
So I look over
I
at
think I just
Wisp
coined a new phrase.
and I look over at Wisp. Welcome back. Did you sleep up there?
I guess.
Well, we're all having breakfast in the tavern if you'd like to join us. We're
Alright.
getting ready to try to meet with the queen.
Alright. I was following Cheddar and that's how I ended up there.
You were following what?
Cheddar. My pet mouse. And that's how I ended up there.
I didn't know you had a pet mouse.
Most people don't. I only bring Cheddar out when I feed him.
Okay then.
Now, I had gone looking to seek an audience with the queen. How's that going?
Well, they direct you to a rather ostentatious looking, it would more than mushrooms resemble a coral formation made out of fungi.
Pretty.
Much better lit. Looks like there's actually some natural light coming in from the surface through like holes in the dome of the cavern system. And an entire menagerie garden, the likes of which you haven't seen. A lot of night blooming and low light plants, even.
I compliment Kalara on the new beak and then proceed to pull a comb out of my pouch and rearrange my mustache and brush the bread out of my hair and use the softest cloth to polish my horns.
So, morning primping.
Yes.
Alright. So after a little while, Alabaster and Wisp walk back into said tavern, and you are met at the gate. And while this is going on, and you all are meeting back up. Now it's Viridia who's nowhere to be found.
No. I knew where she was going because
You know where she was going. You have no. Viridia's missing as far as you're concerned.
Okay.
And Viridia?
And no, he knows because I said that Viridia was going to meet with the queen that we'd be meeting back with the tavern later. If you want to join
okay,
us.
yeah.
You're phrasing.
Sorry, that's on me. So Viridia, as you get to the, I guess you could call them kind of gates. It's more like an archway. There's no actual gate barring it. You see that there are servants wandering the grounds of this particular estate and things of that nature, tending to the mushroom beds and some of the flowers. And it smells very heavily of jasmine and mold. But just add malt and mold to the smell of everything here.
Got it.
Multiple different molds, but still. In this particular case, you see two guards, and you notice there are two guards at the door wearing armor, and they look very much like guards on Moldy.
Okay.
You're pretty sure that one of them is human, you're not sure about the other.
Okay.
And as you step forward, they cross their halberds across the door.
Gentlemen, I am here from Evermist. I was in the battle to save this town, and I seek an audience with the Queen in order to establish diplomatic relations between your kingdom here and ours on the surface.
Diplomatic relay. Well, you're from Evermist, you said? Well, where are you staying?
Last night I stayed at a tavern.
Oh, well, there's only one here, so that'll... Alright, well, they would only be minor diplomatic relations here. Are you trying to reach the greater empire?
I figure a local start is a solid start.
It is, but were you wanting to establish things to the greater fungal empire?
I don't really think that's for me to decide. I'm just the first person from... Evermist is a city. It's not a whole kingdom unto itself. I wouldn't have that kind of authority.
Well, I don't see why they wouldn't want to see you. I'll have to go and check with our chancellors and the council to see. But I'm relatively certain that she'll probably be open to it. I mean, you aren't from that other town, are
No.
you? It isn't that town where they were going to eat all those poor Myceloids.
No, we, like I said, we intervened on behalf of the Myceloids here, and our city has until now been unaware of this kingdom, and so since we have now made contact, I thought it would be best to formalize relations.
They look at you. Well, to be fair, this isn't a kingdom. The queen is just the queen. She's just the queen. There are more queens than you think, actually.
I see.
But, there's a council of queens that does a greater ruling governance of the empire, and they answer to even higher councils. We have, and they perk up, we have dragons among our ranks.
I can't say that my particular city is that illustrious, but I would like to request an audience to open formal relations between the town of Evermist and this region of your kingdom.
Well, we'll have you speak with the Chancellor momentarily. Or is it just you?
I do have friends, although I'm not sure if they are in courtly condition today.
Well, what would make them not be?
They celebrated rather fantastically our victory at the tavern.
Oh, well, that does happen. So, we'll just warn them ahead of time. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Well then, I shall wait for my companions.
Alright, well, you may want to go collect them. And, I think that would be pretty much a good spot for us to take a bio break, put some food in our gullets, and all of that good stuff.
Yeah.
Chili and beer bread. Beer, chili, and beer bread.
Woohoo.
Brought by me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we will be back in a bit.
I miss you.
Because 5G home internet prioritizes cell phone usage,
Okay, and we are back.
We are back, babe.
Sorry that took so long. We was
Awesome
hungry.
beer stew and bread happened.
Yeah,
So
we were
yummy.
totally hungry.
And apparently we're eating like hearty adventurers.
Yes. It should be.
Denver did a
That is
great
a
job.
Zura.
Yeah, kudos once again to Denver for the badass meal for the
Alright.
evening.
So, you are waiting at... Where were you going to wait for?
I was actually going to wait in the hallway
So you're
for
going to...
either for my companions to arrive or for the guards to invite me in. Either way, whatever.
So you're
happens
basically
first.
standing in the eaves way of this place.
Yep.
Okay, so what's everybody else doing?
That's me and I meet back up with. I think you're with me, aren't you?
Yeah. Good.
We walk into the tavern to Kalora and
Azura.
Azura doing what they were doing, waking up and
Cramping.
getting ready and everything else.
My
And
beak.
I let them know that Viridia went to go try to meet with the queen,
Just let them know.
and we should probably go join her.
Agreed. Agreed. You would see that Kalora has somehow managed to make their beak better than it was last night.
Yeah, you had a rough night. Looking a lot better.
Nice beat job. Who did it for you?
I did.
Good job.
It's not my first time fixing it.
I don't believe it.
And so, are we all in agreement? We're gonna go try to meet up with Viridia.
Sure.
After about maybe a 5-minute walk, stopping to ask for directions a few times to people who you figured out that at this point the moldy people live here. So you've asked a few of them, and you come up to Viridia standing in front of one guard at this point as another one is turning away and goes inside to do something. And she just is standing there patiently. And you can hear the rattling clattering of armor behind you, by the way.
Viridia, have you met with the queen yet?
No, I believe that guard has gone to announce our arrival, and I have made clear our intentions to open diplomatic relations between Evermist and whatever they call this beautiful place.
Okay, so we're just waiting to hear back.
I believe so.
Excellent.
Everybody feeling better?
Yeah. Yes.
Lovely. How about you, Wisp?
I'm good. More relaxed.
Nice. And you?
I'm good.
Good. Well, since we're all feeling refreshed, I kind of straighten my clothes such as they are. I mean, I'm in adventurer's clothes and leather armor, so it's not like I look super nice, but I'm just like,
And the armor's kind of messy still. Haven't had time to properly clean it.
Yeah.
So, about 5 to 10 minutes, or actually, yeah, probably be about 20 minutes later. So they had to go track down this person in the building, convey messages, wait for a decision, and then come back to answer you. Bureaucracy. The guard comes through and says, well, he seemed a little confused, but you're welcome to enter. Just we'll see. Just be careful.
well, thank you. I'll keep your words in mind. And I sort of do a polite half bow, and I enter the
cavern in front of me.
As you walk into this building, it's actually kind of decked out to look like a mayoral mansion. Like, it's completely constructed of one form of fungus or stalactite or cave part or another, including some of the ones that create a cemented type pillar foundation as they grow from calcium deposits. They've managed to grow and form this very elaborate mansion, chairs, tables, everything. You're not really sure what's rooted to the ground and what's not, but yet again, it all seems to be one floor, and all of the flooring is just straight dirt, like natural earth flooring.
Lovely.
And it's relatively, as you're enter the main foyer, there's you're not really sure how to describe it. Kind of looks like once upon a time it was a human, but in this particular thing's case, it has full-blown, like, cultures of molds and mushrooms and things of that nature, and different types of fungi, lichens, and mosses, creating the full makeup of its body. And it seems the eyes are yellowed and somehow different as it looks at you. How can I help you?
We are here to establish diplomatic relations between the town of Evermist and this town.
What do you have to offer?
The town of Evermist has a gate to the Feywild from which grows the most amazing sugar. And from this sugar, the people of Evermist create amazing foods. It's also a place of commerce, a place of invention, a place of peace that is run by druids who seem to restore the balance since the destruction of the cataclysm.
Well, that could be interesting. And do you speak for everyone here? You don't all smell like druids. You definitely don't all think like them.
No, I specifically am only speaking on behalf of myself and the druids, the Green Warden Grove.
And then what of the rest of you?
We are here in support of.
These are my companions. They helped to defend the Myceloids from those who came to take your children for food. Well, their children. I'm sorry, I am not entirely educated on the particulars of this culture.
The word we prefer is empire.
Oh, my apologies. Your empire. I'm sorry, I know very little, to be honest, absolutely nothing about it.
Well, they're quite expensive. Know where Evermist is, that's for certain. Actually, would you believe that the one of our larger cities is partially under Evermist?
I would absolutely believe that. We know that there are extensive caves throughout. Our master of mycelium frequently goes to those caves to harvest the mushrooms for medicinal and potion purposes of many kinds. He studies them extensively. It is on his most specific behalf that I entreat you.
What would we gain?
I am certain the technology and economic benefit of having another town united with your people against whatever may oppose this region of the world. Everyone is rebuilding. We will rebuild stronger together. Certainly fungaloids of any kind can understand the power of networking and connection.
And
Can I roll a persuasion check on that?
yeah,
I've started to get bored. I sit down and pull out a stone that I've been carving into the shape of a goat and work on that.
Okay, well I rolled an 18.
what's your bonus to persuasion?
I think it's a +3, but let me check to be sure. Yeah, it's a +3, so 21.
Oh, all right. Well, come in.
Can I ask you a question? You said that we don't think the same. Does that mean you can hear our thoughts?
Well, yes.
Well, it's a good thing I keep my mind blank, or at least try to. My thoughts are a little on the crude side.
We've heard it all before. Looks over at the barbarian.
Who is
Yeah.
actively thinking about having another goat figurine stone to be mounted on the one I'm currently making. Sex figurines. Yes!
This person looks at everybody else and goes, after looking at the barbarian, and they raise an eyebrow, and you don't want to know.
I believe you. However, if
Really? With a horse?
Two goats!
if you can read our minds, then you also know I'm being entirely sincere.
Yes, and I know what you did. And you can try and talk to her.
No, I love this. Come on, you guys. You gotta back me up here.
I get up and put my tools and the stone away and pull out a stone in the shape of a mushroom and hand it to the person that was speaking. Well, I'll
Hey.
do too.
Look at you. You didn't put that anywhere weird, did you?
Not that one.
Are you sure?
I'm sure they're color coded.
Takes it.
You're welcome to put it wherever you would like.
Puts it on a shelf. As you say that, they were going to put it in their pocket. You say that, they put it on a shelf. Well, this way, and they motion you towards what look up a double set of staircases that does the split off thing, and they start moving up the right hand side of it.
Okay. I straighten my armor once again and brush my hair. I'm gonna try to smooth it down, because it kind of goes everywhere. And follow him.
I pat the dust off my haunches.
I'm a little word dumb at the moment, so I'm just trying to picture all the stuff that I make with the hides of the animals that I hunt as I could bring you stuff like this kind of motion, because if my thoughts are being read, maybe they'll see it.
And is there a place I can change somewhere?
On our way into the palace room?
I
Nah.
have an idea. Just quickly change into my best noble outfit. For
Are you
my
asking
cards.
this?
Yeah. Like I
Is
want
there
to
a
know.
place where you can change?
Yeah, like I want to change into my best outfit, represent myself in the farm
I don't
in
think I have a
Big
best
Wild.
outfit.
That's best
Just
I can.
for giggles, roll persuasion.
17.
Oh yeah, that totally beats my 8. So yes, every now and then somebody
Oh,
from
let me see if I have any better
deeper
clothes.
down comes up to trade. So we do have a washroom you can use.
Okay, and I go get changed and kind of cleaned up into what I would consider my most formal outfit for
So like nice, clean.
nice, clean, noble-ish looking, represent myself really well.
Holy symbol in the whole 9 yards out where people can see it.
Yep.
Cool.
Okay, I do have a slightly nicer pair of commoner's clothes than the beat up armor I'm using, so I will also slip in right after he comes out and change and run a brush through my hair.
Anyone else?
Try to braid it.
I primed already, and I don't have dust now.
I have forgotten I have hands and am actively using my newly shaven beak to just kind of like preen at my armor and clothing.
Why did you forget you have hands?
Just sudden,
Hyper focus.
just a delightful hyper focus of, oh, that's a problem. Beak works.
Beak is new and
And
shiny.
you?
Would go stealth, but since they can hear your thoughts, it's not even worth it at this point. So I'm just
Kinda
gonna
like
be kind of
biting.
following everybody up, continue walking up the stairs.
Yeah. Okay. So as you get to there, you come to what looks like a large office door. You know, the big French double doors with very nice tooling in it. It probably some kind of wood. You think maybe? If not, damn. But as you open it, behind the desk is behind a very large armoire-style desk. Think like no roll top, pretty felt green pad in the middle, mahogany status desk. Looks like it actually has a little bit of moss starting to grow on the corners, but it's legitimate wood. Gold inlays, very, very nice desk. You see I guess the proper statement would be absolutely gorgeous woman with what looks like lichens for hair. Her skin is an off-colored green. At her shoulders, you can see little clusters of mushroom caps underneath it. At first, you think is a dress, until you realize that it's actually different kinds of mushrooms, funguses, molds, lichens, growing to look like a very intricate 1800s style dress.
Okay.
She looks up, and it looks like this hoop skirt is spread out behind the desk around her, and she almost appears to be sitting on a chair, but you can't see the back to it for all the ruffles. How can I help you?
Your Majesty, my name is Veridia Wildepine. I come from the small town of Evermist. We have one of the few remaining airports in the world post the cataclysm, and the plight of your people became known to my friends and I, and we fought to protect your people. And I thought I would use this opportunity to formally open relations between the town of Evermist and your kingdom.
Well, I see. That being the case, as it were, first of all, thank you for helping those in some of our more outlying communities. obviously things here are much different than what you saw where they are.
Indeed, I have noticed, and it is truly, from my perspective, absolutely splendid.
Well, you know, there's more than one way to extend one's life. Some people kind of like what we do here.
I can't say I entirely understand, but you do seem to have a beautiful society.
We recycle.
I understand.
Quite literally. I'm doing my absolute best to look somewhat like a guard standing behind Meridia for some like semblance of authority.
So, she looks at... So, what is it that you wanted to discuss with us diplomatically? As you look around the room, you notice that there are... counting the one that led you up, there are 12 other entities. Well, there are 10 entities and what look like 2 extremely large Venus flytraps in the room that all seem to have been, they're just standing around listening very intently to what you're saying. So, and yes, you can tell that the plants are listening. So, obviously you stand before the mayoral council. They joke and call me the queen because I am a queen. It's what my kind are called, dear.
I see. Or I probably don't. But I do acknowledge it, Your Majesty.
No. I am called a fungal queen. Let me show you. And as she stands up, you hear this weird, gooey, slurping noise. And it sounds like she slithers across the floor, almost like an overly large slug, loud enough that the slime would be auditory.
Yeah.
And as she does, you see a trail of yellow slime mold, and the dress is actually her lower half. She's basically standing naked in the room.
Okay.
Sound I'm staring macaroni. You're doing it wrong.
Do you say this out loud?
Sure.
My
You know.
friend has the manners of a troll. Forgive us, Your Majesty.
Trolls taste good. How about your friend?
I wouldn't dare to say, as my people do not eat meat.
Well, mine eat meat, but only after it's dead. For a while. A long while.
I think I'm beginning to understand. Our master of mycelium would be deeply honored to be able to study your culture, your kingdom. In return, we could offer you the bounty of what remains of our trade. We could, together, build a more cohesive and better protected region of this world. An exchange of technologies, an exchange of the bounty of our harvest and the bounty of yours.
Well, this is just a hot spring resort for drow most of the year.
Oh, it's a very nice hot spring.
Very nice.
Apparently everybody likes the glowy stuff.
It's considered quite beautiful where we're from.
You get used to it after a few hundred years.
I imagine. But perhaps there would be opportunity for you to see our stars and for us to see your beautiful bioluminescence more often.
Well, those options are limited. I mean, half of your kind would just eat us all. Well, those of us that are safe to eat.
And that's why we also offer you our protection.
Yeah, no, not my kind. That was a completely different village, and part of the reason for my proposal. My kind, in fact, would not only not eat you, they would protect you from others who might.
Well, you do realize that we don't really need much protection here. That Myceloid colony was... They were simple farmers. They weren't doing anything terrible, and from what I understand, it was quite innocent trade to begin with. I mean, they won't decompose their own. And, they tend to grow some rather nasty antifungals when they decompose. So, like, if they are left to not be consumed by the colony. So, we normally just barter for things like this lovely desk. In exchange for things like those who are deceased Myconids.
Then would it be appropriate for me to request the presence of the Master of Mycelium to come and visit your kingdom?
Empire.
Empire, thank you. To more fully flesh out the details of such an arrangement.
We should be able to arrange something along those lines, yes. I would not be the right person to talk to. As I said, I'm basically just the manager of this. It's a hot spring resort.
Now I understand.
So, could you give us an idea of who we would want to talk to?
I'm technically the mayor, I guess, so I am the one in charge of this town. I mean, there are quite a few people living here. There are multiple rental properties. I'm sure you saw many other species here, probably a few kobolds and some dark elves, and I know for a fact that there are at least 4 or 5 gnomish conventions going on somewhere right now. The oil takes forever to get out of the springs, though.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure I understood the answer, though, to his question. If we can't negotiate with you because you're only in charge of a beautiful, lovely resort, who should we open official diplomatic relations with?
Well, I do work in a technical government office. I mean, sort of. I think the equivalent would be I'm a lesser burger.
A lesser burger?
Burgermeister. So, like, I'm in charge of what goes on in this town and the farms that support it.
Well, from one town to another, then.
Well, if
Neither
you...
of us have to speak on behalf of our entire countries. I'm not even sure what country Evermist belongs to anymore. Things on the surface change so rapidly.
Well, Currently, you're in the Myceloid Empire.
Yes, under the ground, but on the surface, I'm sure there's another empire that also probably thinks we belong to them. Although Evermist has generally kept its affairs to itself this entire time.
It's debatable from what I've heard.
That I would believe. I don't spend much time, though, in national politics, truth be told. I'm a fairly young druid and a recent graduate myself. I only meant to open up trade between my town and yours.
Well, I'll tell you what. The fastest way to get to the governing office that I have to report to is to head the other direction from where you came. So go back to the tavern and take the main thoroughfare deeper. Then turn back towards Evermist and just follow it.
Alright.
There you'll find a city.
Thank you.
And now I must ask, where will you be staying this evening?
I'd say back at that tavern, right?
Well, I mean, it's still morning. I thought we'd make our way to the city, or at least start.
You don't want to be caught on the trail if you don't know it. Let's see. Well, actually, we kind of just like you to stick around. Hang out.
Well,
Well, you see, yesterday, you stopped an invading force that we would have had to deal with a much higher number of casualties than what you would obviously had, since I believe our intelligence said you all lived,
yes, we did.
and you accomplished this feat by yourselves.
I smashed through them with my horns.
I took on three fairly mean-looking nobles.
We had our moments.
Well,
We all have certain skills.
Clara falling unconscious flashes through her mind.
So does my baseball slide through mine.
they just look at you and then look at their council, and there doesn't, and reach out and start petting one of these flytrap looking things. So you've smashed them, you've broken them. Fair. We just like to celebrate. You see, we even mourn our enemies here.
A lovely custom.
There was no celebration last night, but today, we will drag their corpses down the main thoroughfare and make a bonfire of them.
Sounds like fun. I smashed the one that I disliked the most because she stabbed me with my hooves and then used her robes to clean them off.
Is attendance mandatory?
Well, it would be appreciated. There will be a lovely music festival, and
It's just that my friend here is not a huge fan of fire.
Not a huge. You hear this mostly like kind of mumbled out loud, but thought real clearly. Not a huge fan. That's putting it quite mildly. Oh, can I attend without getting close to the fire?
well, it will be in the town square, so there will be plenty of space. I mean, there's all of the cascading hot springs throughout this cavern.
I might have to take advantage of one of those.
There will be plenty of space and music abound.
Being wet.
Games for the children. And you hear this almost sadistic sound to her voice as she says games for the children.
My brain picks up on that, and I am wary.
I'm excited. Is there smashing involved?
Game something like my father throwing me out of a tree when I
Can I
needed to
roll
be
an
in the
insight
fledgling.
check?
Yes. Looks at you and goes, smashing,
12.
maybe?
Or games like my father throwing me from a tree when I needed to learn how to fly.
Not quite. It's unique.
I hit my head a bunch of times. It was fun.
You did catch what they just said, correct? It's not quite. It's unique.
Mm-hmm.
You see, the primary aggrieved victim gets to pick the game.
19.
Well, she's being incredibly honest at the point where she says the primary victim, or the primarily aggrieved group of victims, gets to pick the games
Ah.
and entertainment. You're also very well aware of the fact that everybody is dead that was a part of that group. I don't know what the sovereigns have in mind, but I'm sure it will be entertaining. And I'm very sure that everyone will have so much fun. You don't have to stay, but there will also be music and free food.
I'm always down for free food.
Ah, they were right. Your kind really are like that. Surface dwellers like free food. We'll remember that.
In the interest of ongoing good relations, I agreed to stay another night. Thank you for seeing me.
Oh, no problem. And please, allow me to see you out. And you hear her slithering next to you as she puts an arm that feels moist and almost like gelatinous, but not,
Mm-hmm.
across your shoulders. And you must tell me more about what this master of spores is. It sounds absolutely provocative.
I adjust my loincloth.
Well, the Master of Mycelium is the leader of the grove of druids who study beings much like yourself. Anything fungoid, of course. Also lichen and moss and other things that grow in the wet and the loam. But largely fungoids.
And how close of a study do they do?
Well, that very much depends on the druid. I will be certain, if you give me your calling card, to let the Master of Mycelium know to come and visit you personally, and you can decide for yourself.
Is he cute, at least, if he's going to be studying me?
In truth, my dear, he is ancient.
Oh. Well, if he annoys me too much, I'll be able to eat him soon.
I'm sure that would make him weirdly happy. And I pat her arm with my hand.
Some people are odd, You know that is what she says to you as she walks away.
I am very, very acutely aware of that fact.
No. Everybody make a perception check as you all are walking out towards the door with this person.
Myself included?
Yes.
4 minus 2 is 2.
Nope, you don't notice.
I've full on like readjusted myself after listening to her.
Yeah.
That was a nat 20 plus whatever. What was the perception?
Yep.
That is a 17.
Okay.
17.
Alright, so
25?
and
Are we going off of
18.
passive perception being added or just regular
So-
perception?
No, just regular perception.
Then you add 7.
who rolled low?
I got a 2.
Okay.
I thought they were gonna tell all
Okay,
y'all
yeah.
what you see, and so I'm not seeing.
Okay. I appreciate that. And okay, so
What'd you roll in?
you all notice that there's about a 3/4 inch thick slick of slime that's kind of radiating out about 8 inches around this entity as they are moving towards the door, and it's just kind of turning the ground into a slip and slide behind them. And next to them, that's the only reason you noticed.
Okay.
And yeah, you hear about the only thing that you catch with even where your perception check was, because you did not crit fail it. You start hearing a squishy noise as you walk.
Squish, squish, squish.
Like my hooves are making a squish noise.
That sounds sorry.
I get the necessity. That's,
Macaroni, macaroni. Macaroni, macaroni.
I very concerningly lift my hoof and look at it.
There's about this much slime mold up the side of your hooves. Sorry.
no, I tried to breathe tea.
Even a fish cannot do that.
I did that yesterday with the donuts, okay?
Talk about inhaling food. Okay. So, yeah, you realize that having seen this, and, well, yeah, it's actually just a slime mold. So it's kind of smelly. You notice that she's leaving this behind her in the shape of that hoop skirt. Almost like it's just a slug's bottom. And you're just kind of walking and standing in it.
So she can hear my thoughts, and I don't. I'm not containing
Emily,
any of my
she's
thoughts.
actively paying attention.
Okay, well, the thought that runs through my head is, well, I'm glad I don't have to clean this off my cock.
Did not hear that or chose to ignore it. It's one or the other. Or wasn't paying attention actively.
I'm just saying macaroni, macaroni as I walk, because that's all I can think of with the sound.
Looks at Alabaster and Viridian. What is macaroni?
It's a type of pasta, very common overtop food. We take flour and we turn it into specific noodles. It's often served with either tomato sauce or cheese. I try to picture it, and I also take care to remember how it tasted.
It's up to you if you want to make a performance check on that or not.
Oh, I will.
She can give me a good enough description.
So I think of some baked macaroni and cheeses and also some goulashes I've had. The savory warmth of the flavor. 13.
I just Sounds like
Um,
it's 39.
13.
Only when the satyr's hooves go down in it.
Right? It sounds like stirring macaroni. Like I told her earlier, if it sounds like stirring
Oh,
macaroni,
Fungaloi.
you're not doing it right. Oh, that was the other day.
What would it be like?
16 total.
16 total. Well, that does sound delightful. I might have to try it. Anyway, here we are at the door, so, you have a lovely rest of your day and a safe trip, and, I'll probably see you closer to the festival kickoff tonight. In the meantime, do enjoy our town, and can I check? I cannot read that.
7 o'clock.
Perfect. And with that, we're going to wrap everything up with you all getting ready to go to the festival and make your way to the next town.
Okay.
That's all.
And I'm going to work on seeing what I can do about converting, mutating, and we'll decide whether or not people live or die in the near future.
All right.
And until then, please remember, like, subscribe, etc., etc. Thank you again to Felician Fields for the use of music during our bio break. You make it much better than just looking at an image. And we love you. Have a great night. And as always,
Live long and prosper.
Bye!
And somebody will hit the
I was
stop.
gonna make an announcement basically saying, screw you, do
Where's the stupid mouse?
Yeah, the mouse likes to wander.
Oh my god.
Come on, you can do it. Come